Okay, it's that time again. Do you know they're digging up the road or something again out there? Anyway, it's Wednesday. I'm Ray, Midweek Message. Weather, first of all. Oh, where are we? It's 2 o'clock, 28th of February. It's 1st of March tomorrow, isn't it? 1st of March, getting warmer. Lights change. Lights? No, clocks change. Why I said the lights change? Lighter evenings. Clocks change end of March in the UK. I don't know about where you are. 7 degrees centigrade, which is 44 Fahrenheit, 1031 millibars, the old atmospheric pressure, cloudy, overcast, bit of a wind from the east. I don't like it from the east because it's cold. Nick. Thank you, Nick. You're up in Shetland, aren't you? Right up the very top of Shetland. Nick sent me a little audio clip about an embarrassing thing that happened to him on a first date. Thank you to Mark for your one where you sat in the restaurant, you sat on a elderly lady's lap or something and didn't know she was there. So let's just quickly hear Nick's embarrassing first date episode, or what can we call it? I don't know, disaster, I think.
Hello Ray, Nick Young here, your Shetland reporter, crackling through the ether. Now here's the thing, I was just listening to your chap from Ireland himself regaling us with a tale of horror as he sat on an old woman's lap in a restaurant on a first date. I had a terrible first date experience. This is 40 years ago. I was about 19, 20, or something like that. Bit of a late bloomer, not really sure what was going on in the world of the bird, as it were. But birds were birds then, weren't they? You knew where you were with a bird then. Anyway, well, I didn't know where I was with a bird, but there we are. I was living in Norwich, and I had a dreadful old car. I think it was a Ford Cortina. It may have been an estate. It may have even been a Ford Granada estate. And we're going round. I picked the date up, Fiona, lovely girl, and picked her up, and we're driving to the restaurant, and that involved going round a roundabout in Norwich. So we went round the roundabout, and this car had terrible, terrible, cheap plastic vinyl seats. And it's a very hot day, and sort of went round the roundabout, and I sort of slid on the seat from side to side, and for all the world, I produced this terrible, terrible fartings. The whole car vibrated. But it wasn't me producing gas, not at all. It was the interface between my trouser and the sort of sweaty car seat. That's what produced the guffing sound. Anyway, she looked at me, I looked at her. I knew that she knew that I knew that she knew that I think she thought I'd produced the foulest wind she'd ever heard. And for all the world I had, but I hadn't. And somehow I had to diffuse the situation. So I thought, in my muddled romantic mind, what I'll do is I'll drive around the roundabout again and make the car do the same thing. And then I can say, oh, how funny, jolly, jolly, and everything will be okay. And I drove around a couple of times. I couldn't make it do it. I'm trying to slide on the seat, but it wouldn't make the same sound. I must have gone round about 9 times. Around the Heartsease roundabout in Norwich. And if anyone knows where the Heartsease is it the Heartsease? Up near the Puppet Theatre. So she looks at me and she said to me, Nick, why have you driven round the roundabout 19 times? I said, well, I'm trying to make the car make that sound it made a while ago. And she said, that wasn't the car, that was me. So she guffed. I thought it was the car seat, and I'm trying to... The whole thing was a shambles. Anyway, there you go. All right, I forget her name, Fiona, I think. Oh, God. As you would say, happy days.
Thanks for that, Nick. Yeah, highly embarrassing, I can imagine. I was trying to think, all these embarrassing first dates, what have I ever had that's been embarrassing? I think half my life has been embarrassing, but not to me, to other people. I don't seem to get embarrassed. There was one situation I just mentioned briefly. A friend of mine said, we'll meet in the pub. And I said, OK, yeah, Friday, 7 o'clock, whatever. I went along there. He said, what we'll do is a few of the others will come along. I'll tell them and we'll all move on to a club or something later on. Great. So I went along there, 7 o'clock. No one there. But this girl was there. I sort of knew her to say hello to. She was often in the pub, as I was, and didn't know her personally sort of thing. But, we used to say hi. And she got chatting to me. I kept looking at the time. Where is everyone? Where are these lads? We're supposed to be here at 7. Anyway, I bought her a drink, and in the end we sat at a table and we're chatting away. Very nice girl, very pleasant. We're chatting away. And it got something like half an hour, I don't know, say 7:30, and no lads had turned up. And I just thought, well, this is a waste of time. What am I doing? after about an hour, I was getting on really well with her. And she said, "Oh, your friend," it was Derek, isn't it? "Your friend told me what you'd said." And I sort of looking at her, yes, what did he say? "Well, he told me that you've been wanting to ask me out for a couple of weeks, but you haven't had the courage." And I thought, that's it. I know Derek. That's typical. Practical joker. That's typical of him. I didn't know what to say to her. So I said, yes, right. I just didn't know what to say. But we carried on having a few drinks, and it was quite nice. She was a lovely girl. And we ended up going out. Yeah, we actually did go out together after that. I did explain to her some weeks later what had happened. And she said, "Oh, well, what, you didn't want to go out with me then?" I said, "Well, no, it's not that I didn't want to go out with you. I just hadn't even thought of it. Oh, dear." That night when I got home, that first night, I rang Derek. He was just creased up, laughing his head off. He thought it was hilarious. And, I saw the joke, but it was her I felt sorry for. Anyway, there we are, Nick and Mark, if you're listening. Great stuff. But I can't actually think of any highly embarrassing times I've had on a first date. Just as well, really. I've rambled enough. Ray's Rants at protonmail.com. Be great to hear from you. Looking forward to this Sunday. As usual, I've no idea what it's going to be about, so I will be as surprised as you. Take care, look after yourself. See you on Sunday. Bye-bye for now.